So this has been an increasingly emotional week for me. Between getting the injection done in my Achilles tendon, working extra hours, and then having a wave of grief kind of pop up and hit me again on Memorial Day over my parents. I really have not done a whole lot of videoing. So this is kind of where we're at. So I have severe anxiety when it comes to injections. I know, that's weird. Needles. I'm a nurse. I shouldn't be like that. But I do. And I've been like that ever since I was a little kid. So just is what it is. I went to physical therapy on Thursday, which was 2 days ago now. So I went to physical therapy on Thursday, did a few little light stretches, things like that. You know, I've had a lot of kind of increased pain. Did the injection. It went pretty well. Definitely weird. They put 25 cc's of saline and numbing medicine with like a steroid in there to try and break up the blood vessels. They thought that possibly there were blood vessels growing into my Achilles tendon. That maybe that's why I'm still having so much pain and there's thickening in my Achilles. That is since done. It oozed out a whole bunch of water and stuff like that, and he warned me that it would. It was pretty swollen and kind of weird feeling walking because of the numbing medicine in the beginning, but I just elevated it and kind of tried to stay off of it. However, I'm still having pain in the Achilles. It's not so much running up and burning, like running up the Achilles, but where the Achilles tendon kind of meets at the bone, I'm having more pain there, and it might be that I'm just noticing it more because the other pain isn't as bad. I don't know. I gotta wait until Thursday, and then I will call the doctor and let him know how everything's going. If this doesn't help, then we'll more likely do surgery. And then I picked up a whole bunch of hours. Thank God I was able to, because I don't know. I mean, I know that I'm not going to get paid for at least 5 days while being off once the contract's done. For work comp to take over, you have to be 5 days of no pay. So for a week, I don't get paid. And then they'll average my hours to figure out what my average hours were, and they'll pay me 2/3 of that. Yeah, I've got to get a lot of stuff ready for that. Hopefully I'll get that stuff on this week coming up and get the paperwork so I can fill all that stuff out. And then I also have to get a hold of HR because I do have short-term disability, but hopefully between the two, it'll be enough that I won't really be short money. I still have my emergency fund, so depending on how long I would have to be off is really what's going to happen. So hopefully that'll be okay. And then I recorded stuff on Memorial Day, talked a little bit about my parents. And normally, like, I'm not a very emotionally crying type of person. I don't cry that much. After me videoing that, I tried to go to sleep because I had to really quickly turn around and come back to work. I only had 8 hours completely off in between. So I don't know if I was just really tired, but I started thinking about my parents after, you know, talking about them. And yeah, I got real emotional, and it kind of lasted into me going to work. I actually cried a couple times at work, which that doesn't normally happen, but it did. That grief just kind of popped up out of nowhere. You know, it's been over a year since Mom and Dad passed. but you just never know when it's going to hit, you know. My dad was in the military, so that's what started everything. I just was thinking about him and the flag that I was given, and just kind of snowballed. So yeah, that was fun. Hopefully it'll be a while before that happens again. My best friend told me that would happen, that you think that you're over it and then something will happen, and all of a sudden the grief just hits. Thank God I have Orion, so I've been giving him extra cuddles and he's been great. So that kind of helped. I started trying to figure out how I was going to pack everything, because when I came here, I had the truck. I had the Ram dually truck. Anyway, I had the truck when I came here. So, and it was a long bed. And so when I knew that I was going to take the truck and switch off with my son earlier before winter happened, I did take some of the stuff that I didn't use, and I went ahead and sent it home with my son. When I took my car, or his car, back to get my car, I took a few little things, not a lot, but I did take a few little things. Now I wish I would have taken one of the coats back and maybe some of the clothes. So then I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, how can I maneuver it to where I can still take a nap in the car, which, I mean, you should be able to see right here. So this is the little bed mattress that I have. And I want to be able to still not have to stop and get a hotel room. I was going to at first, but now I'm just like, I don't want to waste that money, especially with me knowing that I can't work to make any extra. So I'm just going to sleep in the car. So I was like, how am I going to make this work? Because I have 2-inch fencing for Orion, and I think we have like 21 panels at the house still that I need to bring with me. And they're just small little panels, but I was like, well, I could always shove them in between the back seat and the front seats. But then everything would be so tight, it would be a little uncomfortable, I think. And so I was like, no, I want to still be able to see behind me. So I went ahead and I bought a little hitch mount that I can put stuff in. So hopefully that'll work out good. I did order window covers because I was going to just go ahead and make them, but I started thinking about it and I was like, okay, so how much is it going to cost for me to do all this stuff? Plus it's time consuming. And now that I'm picking up more, I'm working like 52 hours this week. So after tonight, for this week, it'll be 52 hours. And then next week I'm working like 56. And then I think I work like 40 or 44 or something like that. I don't know. But I didn't want to wait till the last minute to like try and do all this stuff. So by the time I looked at all of that, it would cost me almost as much. I mean, maybe save me like $60 cash wise to make the stuff myself, but then there's all that time. So I decided to just go ahead and order it. So I did order it, and I paid a little bit of extra for shipping, so hopefully it'll get here. It should get here by the time I leave, but hopefully. If not, I'll have to figure something out to cover up the windows so I can sleep. So I got that stuff figured out. I did pack up one suitcase already of clothes that I don't wear. So the things that I wear all the time, or that I'm going to travel home with, the clothes I'm going to wear for that, I've left out. Everything else I've packed up. I still have a few things to pack up clothes wise, but I'll do that probably the 3 days that I'm off the last week that I'm here. Well, that's kind of where we're at right now. We're going to go ahead and let's transition and just let you know what I've paid. bill wise for this week, and this week is ending 5/30/2026. So for the week, really the only thing that I've done is I paid $178 to the National Debt Relief. So that brought that balance down to $5,558.84. So that's really all I've paid off for the week of 5/30. But it's better than nothing. I'm still at least making the payments. I'm able to make those payments. I do know that I probably need to go through and look at all of my subscriptions and things like that and see what I can take off for when I'm home, because I'm gonna have to just minimally pay things, like Massage Envy. I have a prescription, or not a prescription, a subscription to Massage Envy, and that's $75 a month. I need to call, cancel that. I need to call and cancel like my renter's insurance that I use when I'm traveling. So I can call, cancel that. That's another $15-ish. And then it's been a while since I've really like checked everything to see what I need to take off or what I don't. I had streamlined it quite a bit, so we'll just kind of see how that goes. But once I get home, I'll start looking at that a little bit more. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. We're gonna go ahead and leave it there. I'm gonna get off here, go home. I don't have to be back to work till 11, so that'll be nice. And it's nice and overcast, and it's gonna be cooler today, so that will help. Hopefully I'll be able to sleep a little bit better. But I hope you guys have a blessed week, and we'll talk to you later. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, it really does help out, like little channels like mine, if you guys interact, things like that. So you guys have a blessed day, and we'll talk again next week. Bye.